guys, Brian from Snow Bushcraft. Yesterday we actually staked out the hide. Here it is. Alright, it's all nice and dry. Okay. It's been staked out and the fibers have been pulled apart so that they don't go back together. They don't make rawhide. Alright. It's nice, it's soft, and it's supple. Alright. Now, effectively, this is now buckskin. The problem that we still have, though, is if this gets wet, it'll go right back to being rawhide again. The fibers will go right back together again, and it'll be stiff, okay? Unless we stake it out again. All right, so this is where the magic comes in. What we're going to do now is we're going to smoke this hide, and the carcinogens, or the blackness or the whiteness of the smoke itself, is going to adhere to the oils that were left from the brain solution, and when it mixes together, it'll keep it from ever going back into rawhide again. Right? So there's a couple things that we need to do. One, we need to set up a smoking pit, which I'll show you. The smoke system, it's nothing more than you can put a hole in the ground and then you hang your hide above it, and you're going to be using punk wood. Right? You want wet punk wood to create smoke. You have a small bed of coals underneath, right? And you keep feeding punk wood on to create the smoke to go up into the hide. Now the hide does need some preparation, and what we're going to do is we're going to sew this into a sock. Alright? The tighter that you make the sock, the more smoke will billow inside it and create almost like a balloon, and then it'll permeate the hide that much better and more quickly. I usually smoke the hide on each side for about an hour, or depending upon the color that I want to get. If I want to make it a nice golden brown, or if I want to make it a darker brown. This also comes into play with the type of wood that you use. If you're using like pine, or if you're using spruce or cedar, or some things of that nature, even hardwood, as long as it's, you know, punked up and just about breaking apart and wet, you'll be fine. So we're going to go and we're going to create the sock, and then we'll go from there. The smoking setup that I use right now is just a couple of pieces of ductwork. Okay, nothing major. I think total cost me like 20 bucks. And as you can see here, okay, that's my pit where I'll make my fire. I have the smoke go up and into the tube. The reason why I actually added an extension to it is that I don't want any sparks to come up and actually hit my hide, and then actually burn a hole in the hide, or, you know, start to cook it. So also gives time for the smoke to actually cool down a little bit before it actually gets to the hide as well. And then, as you can see, it's just going to be suspended up on top of the tripod. Alright, so while we got our fire going to create our bed of coals for our punk wood to start to smoke the hide, let's talk about what I did. All I did to create the sock was to take the hide and fold it in half. I started sewing from the top, and I sewed all the way down to the bottom, right? Making a sock. At the end, I took a piece of tightly knit fabric, all right? And it's a smoke skirt, is what it's called. And I put this down at the bottom. This will go over the end of the pipe to give us another safety feature to prevent the hide from getting either one too hot or, you know, catching on fire. If we start to see that the fire is getting too hot, we can just take off the skirt and we shouldn't have any problems with our hide. You don't have to do that. I choose to. That's up to you when you smoke your hides, however you want to do that. This is a very simple system on how to actually smoke it, and it has worked in the past for me. and I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work anymore. What I did is I just did a basic basting stitch, which is just a whip stitch, and I went all the way around the edges. Now you can use paper clips, you can use binder clips, clothesline or clothespins. You can use those as well. You can use Elmer's glue as well. I do like to use Elmer's glue because then you can seal the entire edge. Okay, I just didn't have any, but those are all viable methods on, you know, creating that sock or that balloon that you're going to see once we start to smoke it. The side that you're going to wear out is the side that I smoke first. It's usually the one that we leave on the longest, but I try to, again, try to even out both sides. So if I smoke it for 1 hour on one side, I smoke it for an hour on the other side. So we'll let the coals come up, we'll set everything all up, and we'll start to smoke it. Alright guys, now we got some really good smoke going through there, and we're just going to continue to smoke this side. And when we get to the desired color that we want, we're just going to turn it inside out, and then we'll smoke the other side. The next time you see this, I'll turn this inside out, and you'll see the first side that was smoked, and you'll see the color that it is, and then we're going to work on that to permeate the other side as well. If you didn't go ahead and smoke the other side, sometimes you don't have to smoke it as long on the second side, but you're just trying to even it out. It's better that way. You can smoke it for 10 minutes, I've been told, and you'll get that nice whitish buckskin color that is desirable in women's garments, things of that nature, and you'll still have the same results. It won't go back to rawhide once it's been smoked. So let's talk about, while this is smoking, let's actually talk about the fuel again that we're using for our fire. We started a bed of coals up, and basically what you see here is just old punk wood. If you're like most of us that burn a fireplace or a wood stove, usually you got some wood that you didn't get to, you didn't burn it all off. So you know what, I got a whole 2 pallets full that I actually left to rot out for brain tanning. One of the other things, as you can see over here, there's some green pine and some spruce. That also makes very good smoke when you put it on. So it kind of behooves you to go out and grab some of those as well. And remember to always keep your fire to the point of where you can put your hand over it and it doesn't burn your hand. If it's too hot for your hand, it's too hot for the hide. Alright guys, as you can see, I've turned the hide inside out, and we're smoking the other side. We've got a nice golden brown to that hide, and we're going to smoke this side now for about an hour, and we'll try to even out as much of the sides as we can. I had a little tough going on the first side, didn't get the smoke that I wanted, but we got it going now. So looks like it's going to be a nice piece of buckskin. Okay guys, we're almost coming to the end here. Probably got about 20 more minutes left on this side to even everything out. Got a lot of good smoke pouring in through there right now, permeating the hide. And you know, there's really nothing quite like using as much of the deer as possible. You know, some people just throw the hides out, they throw the bones out, things like that, but they really don't know the amount of things that you can actually make with the animal. I'm going to take this down. Check the inside. looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and unwrap this. Here you go, guys. Here's your smoked hide. Not too bad. Colors are fairly even for the most part. Both sides. Alright, there's a couple of light spots in it, but that's okay. It just adds to the character and the color of it. So, that's basically it. That's how you brain tan and then smoke a hide into a useful piece of material that you can use for all kinds of projects. If you ever want to know why they're getting high prices for it, well, it's because there's a lot of work involved to it. The last thing that we're going to do with this is we're going to put this in a plastic bag overnight. We're going to let the smoke set into the hide itself. Okay, it's a little damp. And that's of course because we were using damp smoke or a smoke that contained a lot of moisture. Okay, so you can stretch it out a little bit more, make it a little bit more supple. And one of the last things that you may want to do is run through some sisal rope. But other than that, this can get wet anytime after it completely dries. And then you can use it just like any other fabric. You can wash it and everything else. So, this is Brian from Snowwalker Bushcraft. Thank you for your views and your comments, and until the next one, walk the woods.